Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and you've been watching this channel for any length of time. You know, I got my big wood bench here that I've been shooting from at the 100-yard targets up there, and it's a pretty good table. It's good heavy. That's why it stays right here in one spot. But sometimes I like to shoot a little longer distances, and usually when I go back to my 200-yard spot and hit the targets up there, I take a yoga mat with me and roll it out on the ground and lay down and shoot from the prone position. But sometimes it'd be a little nicer to actually sit up and shoot, but I'm not taking this big heavy beast down there. Let's check out what Caldwell sent me. It's called the stable table. Okay, so from right here at these two stakes to about 20 yards behind my 100-yard targets is where my 200-yard range is. And usually I lay down on the ground here and take my prone shots here, and there's a little hump right here in the ground, and I just barely clear that. That's just the way the geography worked out here. I just barely clear that to hit that 200-yard target. And I am shooting slightly uphill. So on the back of the four-wheeler here, I've got the Caldwell stable table, and we're going to get it out of the box and get it assembled, and that'll do a couple things. First of all, it'll give me a place to sit while I'm shooting. Second thing it'll do is it'll raise my shooting elevation up a little bit, so my angle's not going to be quite as steep. It's still going to be slightly uphill, but not nearly as bad. The only thing you need to put this together is a 1/2-inch wrench, which I got right here in my pocket, and a Allen wrench, and it comes with that in the box. Let's get this thing opened up and we'll check out the components and see how it goes together. Okay, there it is, the Caldwell stable table. Now, it's not exactly lightweight, but it's about 1/3 of the weight of that bench up there. I think it weighs somewhere around the 60-pound mark once it's all assembled. We'll get the box opened up and then check it out. Okay, there's all the major components unwrapped. You've got the seat base right here. It's already got the base plate mounted to it. It's got a couple carriage bolts in it there. And that's going to mount on the seat arm there. You've got the tripod base part here. You've got the upright post, and you've got the 3 legs. And then you've got the actual table itself. And there are nutserts in there, or threaded inserts molded into the plastic. And then this is the base for the table itself. So we'll get this thing, get all the nuts and bolts and everything put together, and then we'll get it all stood up and see what it looks like. Now it comes with a couple different parts and pieces. There's your wrench, there's some washers, there's a nylon bushing that goes for the pivot, because this table you can pivot it back and forth if you need to. It's got the bolts to attach the base plate to the table, a couple nuts right there for underneath the seat, and we're going to get it opened up and get it put together. Alright, since I was just complaining about having to shoot laying on the ground, I might as well put this up on the back of the four-wheeler here and get it put together. It's a whole lot easier than bending down there. Anyways, there's a washer for every one of these bolts that goes in there, so go ahead and put those on. Now you can only put this plate on one way. The holes are spaced so that if you put it on the wrong way, you'll notice. And actually the instructions state to start with the base plate, but this is a sub-assembly of it, so we're going to go ahead and do this part first. Now you don't have to kill them when you tighten them up, just crank them nice and tight. Don't try to wring them off in there. Alright, now we'll move to the base. It's got nice convenient carrying handles on it too. Okay, so here's the center of your base right there, and it comes with a baggie of pins that you put in there. So assembly of this part of it's really pretty easy. All you got to do is all 3 of the legs are the same, so you just take and stick these in there. Got to back this one knob out here a little bit. This knob right here is so you can adjust it to be level. So we'll go ahead and put this one in there and take one of these pins There are 2 different length pins. There's going to be 1 long one and 3 shorter ones. Take one of the 3 shorter ones and put it in there. Your longer one is for your seat post. The one that's got this knob on it here, you want to have that little square pad on the end of here up so that this rides on top of that. Now these aren't going to fit in here this way. It's going to hit that, so you're going to have to turn this and put your hole in there the other way. Okay, there's the base. It's all set up. Alright, once you got the tripod base set up, there is some adjustment on this thing, and it's only on one leg. And a tripod is pretty easy to adjust. Of course, I've got one on the camera, and I've got one right here. So I might have to rotate this a little bit to get 2 of them kind of level, and the hill slopes this way. So it's pretty close right there. Now, the best thing to do with this when you're adjusting it is go ahead and pick it up and then tighten this screw down until it gets to where you think it's pretty level. Then we're going to go ahead and stick the main post in there. Take this nylon bushing that comes with it, slide it over the short end. There's a collar that's welded on there, and that'll help it slide in here, and it'll pivot right there. So that actually looks like it's pretty level to me right now. I could get a level out here and make sure, but I think that's pretty good right there. These holes right here where your longer pin goes through there to adjust your seat post. Now we're going to get the seat mounted onto the seat bar that goes on there, and then we'll get that slid on, then we'll put the tabletop on it. Okay, for the seat base, just take the base, turn it upside down with your 2 carriage bolts pointing up. Remember to flip this over because you got it upside down. Line your bolts up through there. Get your last 2 washers. And also in this package is 2 nuts right there. Now these are nylocks. They have a nylon insert in them that keeps them from backing off. We'll get them started on there. And then this is where your 1/2-inch wrench comes into play. You want these to come up a little bit so that the head of the carriage bolt gets caught in the steel plate that's mounted on the bottom of the seat. Same thing with those. You don't need to hammer down on them. It's just to keep it from coming off. Alright, so there's the seat. We'll get that slid on there with the longer pin. Alright, just let it go right over the top. Line your holes up to wherever you think you need it. We'll try it right about in the middle. And then it will pivot side to side. Your table goes right on top there. Let's put that on. Alright, now the table does have a bolt here, or knob here, where you can tighten that down so your table pivots with your seat. If you want them at a little bit of a different angle for shooting, if you're a righty or a lefty or whatever, you want that kind of kicked one side or the other, you can do that. Go ahead and take a seat. Pretty comfortable so far. Now, like I was saying, if you want to shoot right-handed or left-handed, you may want to pivot your seat one way a little bit so you can get down there, or if you're a lefty, you want to shoot this way. But once you got them where you want them, go ahead and tighten that knob down on the table. That'll lock it in there so it moves with you now. You can adjust the height of the seat. This feels pretty comfortable to me right now, but it may be a little different once I get the rest on here, or sandbags, or whatever it is I'm going to use. But that's it. The only other thing I got to show you is these 2 little plastic pieces right here. Now, the 2 handle holes that are in here are actually made to hold these too. So that'll go in there, that'll go in there, and now you've got a rifle rest. Your buttstock goes in one end, your fore end goes in the other. So if you need a place to clean your rifle instead of using your stands, or maybe you're just shooting on a bipod or whatever, you got a place here where you can maintain it while you're out on the range. Have any issues, have to clear some jams, whatever you got to do, it's a good way to do it. They come out, and then you've got a free open top table. It does have a little lip around it here, so if you've got some ammo sitting up here, or small parts or tools, hopefully it'll roll and catch in that little groove there. There's a raised area right here so they won't fall off that way, but actually it's pretty nice if you ask me. Alright, I've got the stable table all set up. I went and got me a little rimfire rifle out here, and I'm going to take a couple shots. And it's a pretty good table, I can tell you that. I like it a whole lot better than I do laying on the ground there. It's a whole lot easier on this old guy here to get out here and shoot. And it's nice. The seat adjusts from 16 to 22 inches. It weighs 60 pounds fully assembled. I'm not sure what the capacity is on the tabletop, but you're not going to overload it with a single rifle on there, and maybe not, you know, a couple shot bags or something like that. It's not going to do it. Maybe the HydroSled. It weighs, I think, 90 pounds with gravel in it, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. But I like it. It's comfortable. It's a whole lot nicer than laying on the ground here, and it'll do what it's supposed to do. And that's a hit. Anyways, I hope you like taking a look at the Caldwell stable table. I've got a lot of Caldwell products, and they sent this one to me for a review, and so far I like it, and it's not going back. It's going to stay with me, and I'm going to use the heck out of it, I can tell you that. But if you could, hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos. Hit this button right here to subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review. Wish I'd have put that earplug in.